Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome along to JACKOCAR Season 2, Round 7 here for the French Grand Prix at the circuit Paul Ricard. Really don't want it to rain, please. I think we can both sort of agree with that, Jacko.
Absolutely. We've seen what the rain can do, and it is actually not very good for racers. You can't race in the wet on this game. Not very well, anyway.
I was ahead of the curve with this, you see, because I've been saying this since the back end of F1 2018. Because there's once upon a time when me and Soup, back in the ILR days, we'd be praying for rain every race, and every time it rained, we'd be thrilled. And then at the end of F1 2018, it just got ruined because of ERS, and it's been ruined ever since. And for some reason, every time we want it to not rain, it rains. So, qualifying, dry, thank goodness. We'll see what the race does. And first out on the track should be Matt T in the 46.
Yeah, so Matt T, you may remember he raced in Azerbaijan and he ran his special FND livery. He's running the same car again, but also with the FND helmet to match. Of course, FND, for those that don't know, in short, is like I'm not going to say brain disease, but it's to do with brain. It's almost like a learning difficulty type of thing. So Matt is doing that in support of them, trying to raise money as well in the background.
Good
and
stuff.
Of course, tonight is his 18th appearance, and his best qualifying ever is P10.
Right, so we're just waiting for him to come out of the pits. He has to be out of the pits by now, really, and there he goes, on his way out. Now, luckily for him, he will go P1, regardless of what happens at the minute. I know we always go on about this being the FND car, but this allows me the PNC Bank car. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And do not do that on your lap, please, because you've already invalidated. Matt, let's not try that again. It's very difficult, this track, compared to last year with the track limits, because last year you could absolutely abuse this track to no end. It was the most abusable track. I remember doing a stream, and I think it was Alfie McMahon, and he was literally extending every corner. You can't do that at all now. And so that might catch a few of these guys out if they maybe were exploiting the game in the past. We'll see how they get on, but certainly this should be interesting anyway.
And news just in the chat, they're saying it's 10 to 15 minutes, there will be rain.
Right, so unlike last week...
But not the race, dry race.
Okay, so that means that all the front runners are going to be at the back, actually, this time, rather than sort of... They all made mistakes, but the weather itself didn't cause it, because last week we had a typhoon in the middle of qualifying, and we thought that would severely affect the contenders for pole. But actually what it did, it made them all spin off when it was getting drier. It was really weird. They all just sort of put themselves under too much pressure and bend it. But this time might just be the rain on its own which can cause it. We'll see. But here goes indecisive then. I know we always call, I know you call him Matt, but I'm sorry, indecisive, there's no other way you can say it. As he starts his lap. And let's see how he gets on. We'll follow this one on board. And hopefully won't be pointing out all the corner cutting mistakes. Like we say though, with this rain, a bit like last week then, some underdogs will be in the higher position, so as long as you get a lap done, then you're going to be in a good position.
Absolutely.
And what that means as well is that with a track like this, I think Silverstone's short, it's not a proper track really, and it didn't really lend itself to much racing, unfortunately. Here, you can do plenty. And
there's great long straights along the back of the circuit where you can open up the DRS and abuse the ERS and make a few passes, so we're looking forward to that as the race goes on.
And it's going to be said, we've got one of the most precarious turn ones of the season. It's such a fast left-right, it's so easy to get it wrong, and you don't want the challenging contenders to be getting stuck in all of that when they're trying to do a lap. Now, one thing I'm noticing there, you can see it on the mini-map, just in turn 1. Cam has started his lap just as Risky's come out, and so there is that potential of the crossover on laps which you could get caught up. So with the weather as well being a problem, there's so many things that seem to want to go wrong for these drivers, but for indecisive, it's not been the prettiest lap in the world, but it's been a legal lap, and that could be a free ticket into the top 10. You just don't know when this rain's going to come. as across the line he goes. And the first time in the day, 132.3. Let's go see how Cam is getting on. Second one on a lap.
We don't show bias, do we, in commentary? But this is your favourite driver, I believe.
Yes, but we're not gonna be biased, too honest.
This tonight is his 5th race, and he has secured 3 top 5 finishes in his previous 4, but he's never finished higher than 4th.
Yeah, it's a driver you always want to root for. At least I always want to root for, because obviously we've league raced together for quite a long time. Actually, we had, I think, since F1 2018 days. Good fun, and it's weird to commentate him honestly all the time. But he's on his lap, looking to finish it with some style and go P1. He's removed the pinkness from the car, unfortunately. Although I've got to say, this suits him a lot better, the green and black. So it's an improvement on the livery front, I must say. But how's the lap? Pull by 3 seconds. Not a bad start there for him. And now, Renegade. Oh, have we missed this? This is the ugliest livery yet. I think he's succeeded. But luckily for us, there's a bit of beauty in it because he's got that lovely purple for the timing screen. And so, at least he's got a nice colour beside his name.
Matches that, yeah.
Just don't look at the car. That's all you've got to do.
Franagamo, by the way, he has in 14 appearances in the league, he's never finished inside the top 10.
This could be the night.
Probably because his liveries are ugly.
This could be the night. You just never know. We'll wait and see as he comes round. Taking it relatively calmly. It still went wide. It's a weird one, that. But he crosses the line. Eventually, there it is. It's a very late line. It's the very, very last one. You always think it's they've moved it from last year, and so you always think it's going to be a better lap than it is, and then you think, oh, it still hasn't ended. The lap's not over. What's going on? But eventually he gets there, and is the slowest of the 3 drivers we've had so far. Here is Risky, heading through the final sector himself.
And Risky has averaged a point in every race he's competed in this season. So 3 races, 3 points.
Very nice.
He needs to do something. Playoffs are getting further and further away from him. He has to rely on the chase.
The consistency, it looks great. But yeah, I do agree. He needs to do a bit better. But he's P1 at the moment, so he's already looking to start improving. Who's next on the lap? Clyde, or is it Danscar? It's Danscar. Ooh, look at this.
We like this.
I do like this. Very nice, especially on board, I've got to say. I'm saying no one has the series livery though yet. I'm hoping we'll see it somewhere on the grid at some point, but so far we haven't seen it. Is this a livery you can only buy in the shop, by the way? Because I could never find this one.
I think so.
I hate this game. I want that.
Speaking of that series livery, I think, as far as I'm aware, only myself and you actually have it. As Dan's car goes for a little spin.
Yeah, that was a bit...
half spin.
A bit slidey. I thought it was either Khalifa or... No, I think it was Khalifa who was asking about it. Obviously, Khalifa isn't here, is he?
No.
I think he might have got it. I'm not too sure. It was very difficult to get it because it's just so tedious. But anyway, that's a nice livery as well. As Danscar goes up into 3rd position. And here comes Clyde in the all black and grey and white car. I think it's not meant to be grey, probably, but that's just because of the way the two-tone finish is on the car. Very nice, though. Very slick. And then as he comes up to the line...
He needs a result. Goes 3rd. Hopefully that puts him in good stead for later on, especially if we're going to get that rain.
Rain is still not coming down yet. The sun is still out, so if we're going to get any rain, it would be pretty late. Bazza's retired, yeah.
That's interesting, because he's meant to be next out.
Yeah, he is meant to be next out, so that means we get to watch Yuri on his full lap. He's brought the Alexander Rossi colours, the ones we all like, back.
Yep. Bazza, by the way, last week had his best ever qualifying P6. He won't get anywhere near that this week.
Very nice livery, this one. I mean, it's difficult to make it exactly the same as Napa Auto Parts car, but he's certainly doing a good job of it. Shame his luck is pretty similar to Rossi's, though. It's been absolutely miserable, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Still,
Yuri,
it could change.
He's only He's 8 points out off the cut line for the playoffs. So he's well in with a shout with this race and 3 others to go before the playoff season starts.
Well, this is a sad thing. You can be having an alright season, but you're just not quite in that playoffs. Yeah, honestly, if he gets into the playoffs, that's a successful season. If you don't, you'll feel a bit bad about it. But we'll see how he gets on. Track is already starting to get a lot duller. You can see the grey clouds surrounding the track. This could be one of the last laps we get in the dry conditions, because look at it, the track is properly getting very dull and dark in the final sector. I think I've seen on this track, I don't know if we did 5 laps around here once, and it was nearly pitch black just because of the rain, and we're heading towards that now, and that's a sign that the rain is on its way. But here comes Yuri, round the final corner. Where's he going to go with this? 29.2 to beat. Doesn't quite get there, but P3 not too bad. Purple final sector as well.
Good stuff from Yuri.
No, Mr.
Here's
John.
Mr. John. Last week, P8, his best ever qualifying. He could match that again this week if that rain starts to come down.
He could better it as well. We'll see. One last corner. He's running at ARS super early. He's going to have absolutely zero power coming down the main straight, and it's going to cost him maybe half a second. He goes P6, 2 seconds off the pace at the moment. The rain is still not coming down, but it is on its way.
And up next is OKK, with almost the inverted colours of Cam's car. So you can just about tell those two apart. OKK's 2 points off the cut line, down in the 11th place at the moment.
And as he comes to the line, this looks alright so far. Could have a chance at P1. And he does go P1. Okay, good lap for him. We'll see how Connor's getting on next.
Purple
lovely.
Sector 1.
Rev glitch. It's a purple sector 1, but he is only in sector 2 at the start of it now. Sadly, we can't ride on board because we've got the rev glitch that was meant to be fixed, but obviously hasn't been. 3 years ago. But, oh well. Codemasters. We can wait.
Yep. Connor is the guy in 10th, 2 points above that cut line, so it's him and OKK fighting it out at the moment, but of course, every point matters. So it's going to be a lot closer, and I think by the time we come to Austria, those gaps of +7 or -9, they're going to be a hell of a lot closer.
This really is very irritating to not be able to watch on board, because one, I like watching these laps a bit more on board, especially the run to the line, but also for rain, it's a good place to see it when it starts to fall on the halo. I don't know if your task system will actually tell you when the rain starts.
Oh, I can check. I'm just going to watch the end of Connor's lap here.
As he
Might
comes
be good
to
for
the line.
P1.
Maybe not P1, but certainly P2.
P2, yeah. So now you've got the champion up next, Pete.
No, look at this. He's on these medium tyres, and that could be an inspired decision, actually, this, because he should get into the top 10 with us, and there won't be that many people to beat him. If the rain comes, we only have 5 minutes to go in qualifying, so if it's going to come during the session, it's going to come soon. So let's see where this goes. I honestly expect this to be locking into P7, frankly, with this, knowing his pace, and maybe the drop-off on the tyres. It should be at least 7th place here for Pete. Could be even better, though. Let's see, up to the line. Yeah, P7.
Yep. And by the way, there's nothing on task regarding the weather in qualifying. We do get it for the race, though.
Camo Babo has invalidated. First one to do that today. So that means we can give Dexter a lot of focus. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Back in the car. That looks a bit like a Caterham, which is a good thing, by the way. Because look at it. Very nice.
Yeah.
Aston Martin, take notes for next season on this, perhaps. As Dexter...
This is in with a shout of your livery of the season, Owen.
It absolutely is. It's fantastic, isn't it? I'm looking forward to going back to Bahrain with this one to see it again at night time.
Oh,
it
yeah.
really is just fantastic. And, well, at the minute, again, we because it will start eventually if we're... There we go. It's raining now. And it is purple at the moment. So if Dexter could just hold this through the last sector, this could be the pole position time. And he'll be very much enjoying that. But you can already see the rain coming down. Will that be reducing the grip in this final sector by too much to consider going to the top? How quick were those first 2 sectors compared to OKK? We'll find out all the answers as he comes through the final 2 corners now.
He's never qualified higher than 6th, is Dexter. He doesn't even like this qualifying format. He comes on to the main straight. The rain is just about starting, but he should be good. Dexter to the line. He goes.
P5, it's not
P5.
too bad. Not too bad. He might well stay there, but here's J-Luke. He's into the final section now himself. And he's looking alright so far, but we will see, of course, how he gets on when he gets to the line. We don't have any splits right now at the moment to tell how he's getting on. Only 5 people to go after him as well. They'll all be hoping and praying that this rain can hold off, especially if you are Kyle, who's just sat in the pits, almost feeling hopeless and helpless, you would have thought. As up to the line, J-Luke, this is looking good for Paul, I have to say, and it is Paul by 0.3 of a second. Now, Jordan's next up.
Yep, Jordan's been the surprise package this season. He's had a couple podiums recently.
Look at
He's
that.
just
What a livery.
bang on. What a good driver in there with the mix of the fast guys.
Oh, he's invalidated. I'm so sorry, Jordan.
Oh.
But you've got a lovely livery, though. I've got to say. That's Let's move on quickly.
We ruined that. MK Bourne.
MK Bourne, what a livery.
Colours.
Obviously, I'm not part of
Sector
RT anymore, but I still like the RT colours. I've got to respect them, and he does suit them well. He doesn't have the livery template from last season, which is a shame. Thank you, Codemasters, for that infinite wisdom that you've constantly got for us with removing that from the game. But at least there's something of a replacement. Nothing will beat the original, it has to be said, but he has still got a good one. I wonder if he'll think of turning that in gold if he makes the playoffs this season. I guess to the final 5. That's Dexter.
He did in China last season.
Obviously, he forgot to turn into the pit lane when that happened, and yeah, well, he hasn't even got a pit lane to go to yet. He's more focused on his qualifying lap, and the rain is looking so heavy now. I mean, we just don't know if there's going to be a representable lap time at the moment from this. We'll only find out when he reaches the finish line, but you've got to say it doesn't look too good right now. But then again, J-Luke has just been going fastest.
Yeah, MK Bourne with 5 top 6 finishes in a row. Impressive stat, especially with the faster drivers this year.
Yeah, lap time still looks alright.
This week.
P7, I mean, it's not horrendous, is it? Considering the conditions of the way they are. Here's Arnold.
Of course, he had that spin in qualifying last week at Britain's Short.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going that way at the moment, but then again, we're probably the most precarious part of it when you got the twisty bits, but he looks alright. Another contender, has to be said, for livery of the season, this one. An absolute banger. I love it.
And also, you can finally say that he is out of that miserable playoff form that he found himself in last season. He's on his best run of form in the last 5 races. Arnold goes P6.
Right then, just 2 to go. Kyle about to start his lap, but Splinter already halfway through. And these are the top 2 in the championship at the moment. Kyle, I don't think he's going to be losing that chance to leave anytime soon. I don't think he even needs to worry about turning up anymore for these few races. He really does have this all under control, but it can still go on at any point once we get to the playoffs, so we can't just hope it's set in stone. But he certainly must be feeling quite comfortable right now. Someone like Splinter will want to try and haul some points back, and so this is why this pole position can be quite important from if he can indeed get it. But is the rain too heavy? It doesn't seem it at the moment, although saying that Arnold and MK Bourne were about a second off, weren't they? So maybe it is halting him a little bit, but we'll see. As Splinter comes to the line, yeah, he's nowhere near 12th. I do wonder if it's just become too wet.
2 things to note on Jamie. Last week he hit 20 top 10 finishes, and also he is this week's only JACKOCAR driver.
Checker flag is out. Only 1 driver left to finish his lap, of course, and we're on board with him. It is the championship leader. It is the man dominating the championship. You've got to say, right from the first race in Bahrain, we saw there was something special. And this might be one of the few qualifying sessions that hasn't gone his way. Actually, Bahrain was one of those, but he still ended up in the podium positions at the end of the day. He might have to do...
3rd that day.
Yeah, it was a fantastic drive. He might have to try and do something similar today, because of these conditions, he's not going to be looking at pole position. He'll hope and pray it gets top 10, but you can imagine it might be a bit difficult. But here he comes around the final corner. How is Kyle going to get on? DRS is still enabled. He's still got some grip out of the last corner, but pole is a long way away for him. It's going to be in the 1 minute 30s. It's only 13. And that means that it is J-Luke on pole here in France.
Look at OKK and Connor up there. That's their best qualifyings ever. 2nd and 3rd respectively. But it is another playoff point for J-Luke. Another pole.
Yeah, impressive. Maybe a bit lucky with the conditions. But he still had to set the lap, didn't he? And he did so.
Yeah. And yeah, I think he had the last of the track, didn't he? The best of it before it got too wet.
Right then, so we'll confirm the order, and we'll also quickly confirm if Pete got into the top 10 on those mediums as well. That would certainly seem like a medium to soft assault. That could be quite inspired if we get as little safety cars as we've had in previous races, really. Like, or well, the last race. But we'll see first of all what happens when we get the results up, and then we can talk about that strategy, because it could be a very good one if it has worked. But the results have taken forever. Okay, we've skipped them. Fantastic. Cheers for that game.
News on Bazza. You may remember he missed his slot in qualifying. He was just confirming that on track. That's why he retired before he set his lap.
Right, and so just waiting now for everyone to hit ready up, and then we'll see the order. That's never happened before, where it's just decided, you know what, we're not going to show you the qualifying results. Codemasters, they never cease to surprise me when it comes to the game not working in the slightest. What a game, what a game. And you haven't even seen the start yet. Oh my goodness, the start is going to be something else. If it works, I'm not going to do anything, but it'd be surprising. But yeah, they're all getting ready up. As you were saying, not really looking at any rain for this one, are we?
No, they're all confirmed in chat. It's going to be a dry race.
Yes. Right then, let's see where Pete is, and then, well, where everyone else is. It's quite nice. Come on, OKK. Thank you. Come on,
Good
order.
to see OKK up there.
Oh, for goodness sake. All that for Pete to just be 11th. Right then, he'll probably still start in the moves, yeah. Doesn't really change much for him, does it? No one's starting on the hard, so we'll go for the order and what tyres they're on. So top 10 are all on the softs, obviously, and they are J-Luke, OKK, Connor, Risky, Cam, Arnold, Dexter, MK Bourne, Yuri, and Clyde. Then outside the top 10. Oh, look at the game actually shows us the two stops they're going to be looking at. How useful is that? That's the first time they got it right all season. And yeah, first one I said top 10 on mediums is Pete, and then Splinter also on mediums, and Kyle, Danscar, and Mr. John on the softs. Indecisive, Frenigami on mediums, Camo Babel on softs, Basil on mediums, and Jordan on softs.
Those three at the back, Camo, Bazza and Jordan didn't set lap times. Shame for them. Championship leader all the way down in 13th. The guy in second, next to him on the grid, P12, Jamie Splinter. So we got a bit of a mixed up grid.
Yeah.
Risky up there again in P4, but you'd expect, judging by J-Luke's pace in Australia, that he should be on for the win, provided nothing goes wrong, but I won't say anything.
I'd love to see him sort of have a difficult
Crash.
start there. Nothing to actually see. Yeah, it's a car going off there, isn't there? Who is that? No idea. Probably Pete, wasn't it? Anyway, no, let's say, I'm not in the bad way, but I'd love to see if J-Luke just fell down a little bit, see what the four behind would get up to, because there's four drivers that, let's be honest, we weren't really expecting to see in this lead fight. You know, even one of them gets a good start and just jumps J-Luke. Let's see how they deal with that, because that could be quite interesting, as you get a couple of disqualifications on the formation lap.
As is standard now.
And again, the strategies there. Splinter only one on the Joker, I believe, as you were saying, yes?
Yeah, although he did say to me earlier he may have made a mistake, so I imagine he'll probably be two-stopping. The mistake being he shouldn't have picked France.
Yes.
But we'll see what he does. I'm just looking at Arnold's car, by the way. Very, very nice when the sun's out, which we haven't had for a few races.
It's very nice to see it. And hopefully we don't see it in pieces at turn 1. Hopefully we don't see any of these guys into each other at turn 1. I want to see how these guys have a proper start for once. As Jordan parks up on the grid, one of the other fantastic liveries we've got on the grid. This is one of the best weeks, I think, for the livery so far. It's been fantastic.
It's so colourful, isn't it? Yuri's car stands out as well.
Well, let's hope the drivers aren't using any colourful language by the time they get down to turn 1, because the lights are on here in Paul Ricard. And it's a fantastic start for J-Luke. He's going to be miles clear by turn 1. I think it's more because we've had a poor start for, well, it looks like a ghosting almost, OKK, but it is Jellic, long way clear to turn 1, and corner's been tipped around, and there's lots of cars all having to avoid. There's been 2 rounds. I think that was Yuri and Connor. I think it was Risky who tipped around. Yeah, it was him that tipped it around. We've got a safety car out, but there's no damage, which is good news.
And that green car have damage, so I forgot who the green car was.
Danskar?
Yes.
Danskar. The order is having a complete spaz. I do apologise for this. There we go. We've got the order now. So it is Jellic. He had the perfect launch of the line. He absolutely nailed that. Don't quite know where we have a safety car. Yeah, P up to P5. There's a lot of avoiding having to go on a turn 1 since it was P2 and P3 who came together. And I guess he just sort of made the best of that, which is good for him. On that medium tire, he's a long way, the best on mediums. Mind you, Baza had a decent old start as well, up to 11th. And Frenagami 14, there's been a few good starts. That's who made the most positions. I imagine it's probably a few of them have made 6. We've got Cambabu as well up there, along with Baza, and of course Pete up there. There's a few 5s, so we've got Kyle and Danskar, but Danskar's got damage, we think. Well, he does, actually. Not even that, we think he just does. Mind you, I imagine we might see them all pit anyway at the end of this first lap.
Well, for strategy it makes sense. J-Luke is in.
Connor, Yuri, and it was Clyde as well, the other car that was losing loads of positions.
Pete's staying out, Owen.
Yeah, well...
He's thinking of the playoff points.
We've got a few speeding in the pit lane. OKK is certainly one of them. I don't know if there's any more, but yeah, I imagine everyone who isn't on a medium compound tyre will be in the pits. And there's another one, Yuri with his penalty. A lot of speed in here. Connor as well. And Cam onto the hards. Oh, I hope he's... Oh, look at that. We got some stacking going on there. I think that's Yuri having to be held. Oh, so painful. He'll fall to the back. And he's got to get a new front wing while he's at it. Oh my goodness, they're still going. It was NK Bourne, his teammate, quote unquote, who was holding him up there. Clyde is sitting still in his box. He's finally gone.
Mr. John, by the way, all those people that stayed out, he's managed to retain position, so he made up places in the pit stops that comes out in the same position that he entered them in.
Oh.
So cracking start from Mr. John there.
J-Luke and Risky collide. It's a damage there is to J-Luke. J-Luke has broken his front wing. And a penalty to boot. That could be curtains for him. But I'm just wondering if people have went onto hards here. Arnaud and Cam might be regretting that decision. I don't know if they're doing it as if it was a one-stop, because I wasn't expecting to see the hards at all. Even if there was an early safety car, I don't really see them being viable at all.
Not when it's a mandatory two-stop. I mean, you'd expect Splinter to do that, being the Joker, but...
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. It's a very confusing one.
Indeed.
Right, and let's just see. So we have 5 who stayed out. They are Pete, Baza, Frenagami, Splinter, and Indecisive. And then Risky was already the guy jumping J-Luke in the pits, but now, thanks to J-Luke's collision with him and the penalty that came to J-Luke, he should be the clear leader eventually, unless OKK has a stunner of a restart. Dex dropped there as well, made a couple of positions in that, I think, ahead of Cam. And Mr. John running in at 6th. That's really a big game there, and when he has Cam on potentially the Rollins Tower ahead, Mr. John on this pit stop period, not too bad.
And there you go, J-League will pit again, by the way.
So that is already P5 for him, effectively.
Yeah, Mr. John very much in form, maybe not so much in JACKOCAR.
Jordan as well.
In other leagues, he's up there.
Jordan as well. Last on the grid, need I remind you, and he's running in at 6th at the moment, because you've got to say, those top 5, they didn't pit, but they could be in trouble, even if they, get another safety car.
With the exception of Splinter, I'd agree with you.
So this is looking very nice. I mean, yeah, Splinter, I guess, also has a real chance to win this one. I do sort of forget he's on the Joker, isn't he? I mean, this could be another Joker victory. We saw the first one happen in Silverstone. The first Silverstone race, the full circuit, that was in the rain. We haven't had a dry Joker victory yet. This could be the first. And the safety car should be going in at the end of this lap as long as J-Luke can catch up. He should be able to do that. He's not a million miles away, and the safety car is pretty slow, and they'll back it all up in the final sector anyway.
J-Luke on the mediums, so he will be pitting again.
I don't know. These tires last forever, and maybe he's hoping for more safety cars in there.
Late run on the softs, possibly.
Well, we'll see, though. There's a few positions. Oh, there's been a big accident. Connor has binned it with Dan's car. I saw there was a few positions changing. There is Connor as Jody passes him, and I'm expecting to see a front wing of Dan's car probably missing again, or was it more actually Connor running into the back of him? It looks like it was that way. Safety car still goes in, no, at the end of this lap, even though there's a car sitting in the middle of the track.
No damage on Dan's car, by the way. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a P2. Up 17 spots from his grid position.
But of course, still yet to make a pit stop. So, effectively net leader, you've got to say Splinter then. Also, Honest Joker, I did forget about him. But there's plenty to watch out for here. We have Kyle, only 13th. You've got J-Luke last. You've got nice and mixed up drivers here. This should be a fascinating race from here on in. And I just hope this doesn't disappoint. We'll see how.
Sorry, Aaron.
I'm saying we'll see how Pete deals with this restart. Because look at that, he's nearly into Baza there. But this is quite a difficult restart actually. It's when it comes to timing it, but I think he's timed it pretty much perfectly. Baza was asleep there, and as long as in fact the whole of front three should actually be okay. It's very spread out already. I say Baza was asleep, but actually wasn't too bad in the end. He's kept him in a second, and it's Gamu who's the one that's just fallen back. But here comes OKK, look, thinking about the move on Risky. Gotta get that done quickly, of course, if he wants to be a net second at the moment. Splinter as well doesn't want to get bogged down behind Gamu too much. It would be not very good for him. Further back, we've got Kyle on the inside, passing NK Bourne. He's only down in P13 at the moment. And onto the back straight at racing speed, and OKK right round the outside of turn 5 appears to have got the move done and dusted on Risky. And he has done. But look at the run now Risky's got himself. And this is where we see this Mistral straight. Such a long straight with a fantastic chicane for overtaking in the middle. Probably the best place for it. I don't care if people don't like it. It is the best spot for overtaking. Fight me. And when DRS gets enabled, that's going to be a real power point. Oh no! Splinter's binned it! Or at least he spun it round. Potentially on the curve he's done that. And that means OKK's the net race leader. He hasn't won since Australia last season, I don't believe. And he's right in the position for it at the moment.
Well then, that's the end of that Joker strategy.
Yes.
As per usual, with the exception of once, it is the curse. No damage, I think, to that 21 car.
Yeah, he must have just binned it on the curb on the exit. You can climb that curb and lose it. And Danskar has also spun. No damage again, but he should have Splinter past him potentially. And he does get by. OKK now is going after Indecisive and has got his man. Risky might fancy it as well on the outside of turn 1. Sweeps in and has the position. Nicely done there. We've also got, I believe that's Kyle trying to go on Mr. John. Mr. John comes to the track to make sure he doesn't run into him. But Kyle having a pretty good restart. But look at Jordan harrying as well as Mr. John goes a bit wide. That could be a chance for Jordan now. He should have him on the traction on the inside. Look at Indecisive really losing pace. He's been overtaken by 3 cars in one corner. But Mr. John and Jordan are still side by side. Indecisive blocking Mr. John's way. He has to back off and Jordan does get through eventually. But Kyle already into P8. I'm fearing the worst here already. And look at this, Mr. Johnson overtaken by more drivers now. And NK Bourne
down this straight.
He fancies trying to get by, but so does Arnold, and he's done so, I believe. Where's he gone? Yes, he has got him.
Okay,
oh no, he hasn't quite.
The outside, beautiful. Mr. John is going to get a lovely slipstream off the back of Arnold now.
Up the hill. I don't think there's any way through. I think again it's actually Arnold. He seems to have a decent run on NK Bourne on those hards, but no way through. Is Indecisive really struggling, isn't he, at the moment? He's losing so much pace right now.
J-Luke on the inside of John Hero, and Kamababa also went wide behind them. J-Luke's going to go the long way round of Mr. John.
Look at that. What on Indecisive's in Narnia right now. He's nearly cut across on Jordan. Oh Oh! He broke so early, and NK Born has smashed into him, and he's not going to be happy. Was riding on board with it, and safety car's out again. Will Nascar throw it into the pit lane? No. He could have. It wasn't
Matt's
too late, that's the
again.
problem. Yeah, Matt, I don't know what you were doing there, unfortunately. You can't park it into a turn like that. That's not good, I don't think.
Owen, you saw it better than me. All I saw was MK Born going into the back of Matt. What actually happened prior to that? Sorry.
Well, Matt went wide at the corner before and was well off the track. He came back on, was almost cutting across Jordan. Jordan went on his inside to get by, and then Indecisive just slams the brakes, and NK Born straight into the back of him. Nothing NK Born could do about that. That is, I like Matt, but not when he's brake checking people.
Matt, of course, still learning the no assists. I'm just watching this back on stream. Yes, you are correct. Just brakes too early. MK Born could do nothing about that.
And I do apologise about the screaming, but I mean, you can imagine I was surprised. Now, there have been 2 penalties in this. Pete and Cam have both got 3 second time penalties I've seen so far in this safety car alone. How? At least it's not like 2019 when you were getting 10-second penalties thrown at your left, right, and centre. But yeah, I don't really quite know why you're getting penalties in this. Now, is anyone going to pit? Of course, the top 3 haven't pitted yet.
No. Pete, by the way, is staying out.
Okay, pits.
The playoff points.
His second stop. He's going for this to go to the end. Interesting strategy. No one else is doing this. Surprised Splinter isn't taking his Joker stop yet. And Indecisive stays out as well. So only one into the pits is OKK. That'll be for the hards, I guess. He's taking a 5-second penalty as well. Good idea, that. Get out of the way during this. And a new front wing as well.
Why not? Whilst he's there.
So this will be him to the end. He'll be at the back, but he will be going to the end of the race.
Yep. And lap 7 and lap 13 is where the stage frames are, so I think that's why Peter stayed out.
Yeah, that does make sense actually. And he's got
someone who needs playoff points.
Problem is though, if he stays out to cross, this could actually cost him going for this 1 playoff point, because if he'd have to stay out another lap to do this playoff points, and then by that point he wouldn't be able to pit later on when the safety car goes in. And so he
might be relying on his sheer pace in the coming races to make up for it.
He'd still have to make 2 potentially green flag pit stops if he goes for this playoff point, because if you pit right now, then it would be risky taking that point off you, because it's just way too slow, that pit lane. So that's an interesting scenario for these 3. They've got to stay out. Like, if Pete pits, then Baza might just fancy staying out. If those 2 pit, Frenagami might be thinking, oh, point. You know, so
yeah,
it's a weird conundrum, this one. Do they sacrifice a race? Frenagami would sacrifice this, wouldn't he?
Frenagami is here as a reserve. He's here for fun, so
yeah.
He won't care less.
City car's in this lap, so we're not going to have to consider that. They're going to go flat out to the line. I thought we might get 1 more lap of it, but we will be going green again at the end of this one. Pete nailed his restart last time.
J. Luke is a net race leader, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good point, that. Obviously, the safety car actually brought him right back into it, didn't he? Oh, that's disappointing. Anyway, no offence.
Yeah.
Right then, here goes Pete then. How's his restart this time? He's doing it a bit differently to last time. He went full on the power very early last time. And this time he's waiting to the very last moment. And Baz is sat on the inside line, but Pete, and well, they both had slides actually. No one really took advantage, but Pete does take the playoff point. No. That's a good green once again. Here in Paul Ricard. Okay, Baza was a lot closer, but they both had the wheel spin out of the last corner, so no one could really do much in that leading pack. Risky, still the highest 1 stopper so far, but as you say now, with J-Luke in that pit stop, that might have buggered these guys a little bit. Unless J-Luke's involved with another accident, of course. In fact, let's see how he's getting on.
Depends how well J-Luke's tyres hold on as well, because that was 2 very early stops that he made.
Oh, he's nearly into Mr. John. And up ahead, Risky alongside Frenegamu. As you say, Frenegamu's here for fun, but that's just not... Yeah, you've got lost there, my dude. You've taken Apple Maps, and he's taken a 5-second penalty as well.
Well, he deserved, I have to say.
Yeah. Probably an illegal overtake as well. He hasn't given that back. And here comes Dexter for the net race lead for the one-stoppers anyway. We've got to assume, I guess, that J-Luke would be taking it. But if it is a bad strategy for J-Luke, if he has to pit again later on, then this could still be on for one of these two. As Kyle, oh for goodness sake, go away, Kyle. He's up to P6 already. Right on this, Frenegamu's holding this right up, and look at that. Risky has to back it right off. Frenegamu slows this down exponentially, and look at Kyle right round the outside. Didn't even see him coming. Yeah, he was just come from nowhere. And into the final corner, Kyle gets held up a little bit, not going to get through there. And now side by side with Dexter, nearly contact on the straight. And Dexter gets a good run, but so does Frenegamu, or so does Kyle, I should say, on Frenegamu. Running outside of turn 1, is it worth it? Oh, they collide, but there's no spinning. And Kyle gets it done. Ah, oh, so annoying. Stop being so good. How is he going to get by Frenegamu then? What creative overtake is he going to try here? Probably just slipstream him and pass him, frankly. But let's... Oh, Camu Baba is gone. He's facing the wrong way, as is Indecisive. Has there been another incident between Indecisive and another car, or is it just two separate incidents? Here comes Kyle to inside. Gets it done. Looked a pretty tight one, but got through. Frenegamu nearly spins on the exit there. Oh, but Dexter does! Out to the race. That could be a safety car again. We'll wait and see. This could be a golden opportunity for some pit stops, but it is a virtual safety car, so you can still pit under a virtual safety car and not lose as much time. But that was interesting. Both of them had slides there. It's not that there was any contact. Frenegamu had a slide, but Dexter had a full-on spin.
I just wonder if Dexter was reacting to Frenegamu's little slide. As he got on the power, just spun the wheels up too much. Will Pete pit? He will not.
Baza might fancy it. He does indeed fancy it.
Finally. Slow down.
It's because he doesn't lose that much speed. Will anyone fancy taking a second pit stop under this? No, at the minute. No one fancies it. No one wants it. Camu Babu does, though. Right.
Oh, and I wonder if we're going to get a little bit of team play here now. Risky. Already done the one stop.
We're green.
Will Pete let him pass and slow the field down?
No.
They are teammates.
He's 3 seconds clear and then 6 seconds clear of this pack. He probably still thinks he can salvage something from this race at the minute, if I'm honest. Difficult one, but I think he still might be racing for himself at the moment.
Okay, we'll come back to that later on.
Here comes J-Luke and Cam now. Remember, lead two-stopper, trying to get by, and we got more yellow flags. That's Indecisive again, but J-Luke has got through. And there goes Splinter as well on Clyde, I believe, up to P10. Indecisive's recovered, back onto the track in P15 at the moment. But yeah, you can see Pete isn't really slowing down. He's pulling away from Risky plenty fast enough. Will he pit soon? He's on the overtake. He seems to be letting that ERS get right down low. He might fancy the pits now. He hasn't really got much ERS left. He could have had a chance to save it, but he doesn't pit. No one pits, in fact, at the moment. Just a waiting game for the pit stops at the moment.
It is. It's an intriguing one, this.
Splinter closes on to the back of Mr. John. Should get by.
Holding his own once again, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not doing too badly. I mean, he's possibly struggled a little bit. But, I mean, at the minute he is holding his own quite well in P9. Obviously, there's still, well, one car to pit ahead of him, so he is legit running in a point position, isn't he? So it really is actually, it's not going too bad, actually.
The self-proclaimed slowest driver on the grid, and he's mixing it in the midfield. Fair play to him.
But he is under pressure now from Splinter. He should get through.
He won't give him any problems.
Well,
Mr. John will know his fights.
Doesn't get through actually. Just sort of
chilling, if anything.
Just chilling back. Yeah, he doesn't really fancy the overtake at the minute. He's got to be careful. He has got Clyde behind, but then again, maybe not interested in Clyde either. They're all catching Yuri though, I think. So maybe that's who they're eyeing up as the targets. And I don't want to fight until they get there, but certainly Mr. John actually as well has blown his ERS. That might be why Spencer didn't fancy getting by. Maybe he was just saving the ERS a bit. Because you'd imagine he is quicker, and yeah, I mean, Mr. John is critically low right now on the ERS actually. I don't think he'll be holding this P9 for very long. But we'll see.
Splinter starting to tease the gearbox of that 9 car now. But Mr. John gets a good exit out of all the corners.
He's using all the ERS he's got, and it's working for him because Splinter isn't using his ERS. It's interesting. And we've got Arnold, Jordan, and J-Luke about as close as they've been so far, I think. And J-Luke, remember, is probably able to go to the end. And look at that. He's trying it, and I think he's going to make it work as well on Jordan. Risky, but he's going to do it. Nicely done, J-Luke.
Great respect between those two.
Will Jordan be able to come back on the DRS, or is J-Luke going full power? He's doing the same thing as Mr. John is, pushing ahead. But here comes Splinter on Mr. John, speaking of the devil, and he's through. And here comes Clyde as well, and he's through. And here comes OKK, he might have a chance on the exit potentially, with Mr. John being a bit wrong-footed on the way in.
Yep.
And
so
he's through. Dan Scarby not quite close enough yet.
OKK's already made his second, not to forget that.
Yeah. Running
in a very good position.
Running quite well in a minute. Because obviously he will make positions when these guys pit, most of them.
Yeah,
he's gonna also just hope that J-Luke, as you were sort of saying, will those mediums actually get there? But it's still not great, is it, if it doesn't get to the end, because he would be in quite a bit of trouble.
Yeah, but what's critical about OKK still running is obviously coming into this he was 2 points below the cut line. But Connor's now retired. OKK's running P11, which is 6 points. He's now +4 inside. And of course, if J-Luke does pit again, OKK is in net race lead. They may be with a straight up ticket to the playoffs, just like last season.
Yeah, obviously he did it in the first round of the season. It was a very late win, wasn't it, because of all the incidents that were going on. It was one of those things where literally the leader was changing practically every lap. And with this one, it could come down to the puncture territory, because this isn't F1 2019. You can see J-Luke's pushing, he's going past another one. This isn't F1 2019. You can't take these tyres to 90% reliably. There's a potential they can go off at 73. Or as early as that, I saw that on a race on Monday. Race leader, final lap, puncture. Only on 73%. On front left. It can happen. And it's on Spain. This is quite similar to Spain with these flowing left-handers, long left-handers. There's a potential these won't get to the end, and yeah, you've got to say that's really potentially quite viable for OKK at the minute. He's looking quite good, and you've got to remember as well that Pete hasn't pitted yet as well, so he's potentially screwed. So it's not anything like he'd be a threat, you know. I don't know what Pete's doing still out there at the minute.
I can tell you that Pete's medium tyres are, well, his worst one is the front left at 57%. The rest
already?
all around low 50s, yeah.
No way is J-Luke getting to the end then. Would explain why he's been pushing so hard. He's going to pit again.
J-Luke's tyres are in the low 40%.
Yeah, that's already after 11 laps. He's going to have to do 14.
Yeah. And for reference, OKK's hards are below 20%.
Oh yeah, OKK looks very good then. I mean, what's his gap to leader? 13.5, but he has got to make 2 pit stops, so really, maybe his main competition right now potentially would be Kyle. Because that'd be who we'd be looking at. And you've got to say, actually, to be fair, Kyle would probably be quicker, wouldn't he? Be on the softs or something.
At the end of it, yeah.
Oh, that's wide for Risky, I think it was. He had a slide a bit similar to the ones that Dexter was having. Splinter as well. And he's just lost a bit of time there to Kyle. And looks like Cam is right on the back of Jordan now. P6 thinks about it. Might get it done as well. He's on hards as well, looking
Stick his
good.
nose in.
No way through. I thought he was going to get through, but he didn't quite.
Just for a little bit of a switch back here. Jordan is a lot better at the moment, at this stage of the Grand Prix at least. As Risky pits, that'll be for his second stop of the day.
I did a bit at the wall when he had that slide. I don't think he did. Maybe that was just a sign that he doesn't like these tyres anymore and wants to get rid. There are more in. Yuri and Splinter. Of course, Splinter, it's his one and only stop. So we'll see where he ends up, because you've got to see the safety car potentially put him back into this, didn't it? Really, after the spin.
Yep.
People put pictures in the chat, by the way, of a car having special relations with him. That could be quite distracting. Is it even a car, or is it something else? Anyway, he's got a lot of distractions going on.
Made his one and only pit stop, by the way.
But let's say, I wonder if NK Bourne is struggling because of that, because well, he was anyway before he retired. Yeah, that's probably why he binned it. He can't see a thing. Or couldn't. No, Kyle is catching Pete, and Pete hasn't even stopped yet. He has to stop twice. I don't really know what his strategy is, unless he's going to do 2 quick-fire soft runs, but a pit stop round here is one of the slowest of the season because of the pit lane speed. He's not going to fancy fighting this. He's not going to fight it.
Oh, there we go. But, crucially, 2 playoff points for leading both stages.
Yeah. I guess that maybe might be all he could salvage from it, but he will be at the back now, probably towards the end. J-Luke is in. J-Luke does make another pit stop. And, yeah. He probably can't even stick new softs on. Yeah, he's going to stick old hards on, or old mediums. I say old, only 1 lap old. It's not like they're ancient. Pete will set some fastest laps. That's about all he'll do, unfortunately, now until the end, I think.
Of course, that would be another playoff point if he does get fastest lap. So I think he's playing the long game for the 3 rounds time after this. What have we got next? Throwback week in Italy, round 8 Monza. Then we go to Holland in round 9, and we finish the regular season in Austria before the first round of the playoffs, where it's Bahrain, Short, and Belgium.
Nice. Looking forward to that. Now, I've got Pete already making some moves. First one is Mr. John. I wonder what his gap is ahead. He's got plenty of free air ahead, so he can set as many fast laps as he wants to, which is good for him. He should have no real issue going fast this lap now. And he is still 7th, but like I say, he's not going to be last, but he is going to have to pit again, and he will be slower. He'll have
15th, 16th?
I mean, he should be rapid at the end. We'll see. Kyle now in the pits again. What's he going to go on to? Will he take a risk on soft, or will he be safe on mediums? Looks like it's going to be the safer option.
New race leader from America, it's Cam. Something for you to cheer about, Owen.
Yeah.
No bias.
Go America. Right then. Okay. Let's see how far ahead of Kyle he is, because this is crucial for him. He needs to have a big gap. He also needs to have Pete ahead of Kyle. That's what he wants to see. That's going to annoy Kyle a lot, because Pete's going to be there for a few laps now. And, well, Kyle's not really going to be able to do much about that. And the gap is about 12 seconds. Do you know what? In 11 laps, that'll be quite close. But I've got... Oh, sorry, hold on. That's Cam, isn't it? It's more like 6 seconds. And that sort of ruins it a bit. But still, 6 seconds. We'll see what he does with that. I just hope he doesn't fall too far. I have a feeling he's not going to win it, unfortunately. But, we'll see. Now, Mr. John under pressure again. He's probably getting a bit sick of this now. And Risky might fancy a try on him as well, but no, it's just J-Luke who broke very late there. But look at that, Risky's mugged him off. I don't know if they're teammates or something, but that looked... Are they teammates?
What, Risky and J-Luke?
Risky and Mr. John?
No, sorry.
Oh dear. Right, we won't comment on that overtake again. It looked like he was letting him through, unfortunately. Or maybe it was just a very opportunistic move. Maybe it's good to know who you're racing. I guess Risky felt confident he could actually mug off, yeah, Mr. John there. Calm in the pits.
Mr. John's he's a driver you can trust, is Mr. John. You want to stick it up the inside or throw it around the outside, you can get away with it, providing you've got Mr. John's respect. As he now pits, you can do quite a lot. He's a good driver. Pete sets the fastest lap.
So Cam fancies another set of tyres, and this time it is the softs. I wonder if they're going to make it. We wondered if Kyle would take the risk, and well, oh dear, he's close by 2 seconds on that lap, it looks like. On OKK, you can already see him, so I do think OKK isn't going to win this race. He should still have a decent finish, though. I mean, it's not like it's going to be dreadful. I do wonder if J-Luke has a chance of catching Kyle. A bit older tyres, but we haven't really seen these two head-to-head yet on the pace. He's got a long way to catch up. I don't know what penalties these two have. I know J-Luke has one, doesn't he? What about Kyle?
Let me just check that for you, Mr. White. Head over to task. Penalties for J-Luke are 0, apparently. And Kyle also has 0.
Right. Huh.
That's boring, isn't it?
It is a bit. Right, here comes Cam on Bartlett. Gonna go around the outside into Steen Corner. Should be pretty simple on those new tyres, and it is. 3 different compounds of tyres in the top 3. Only one of them is still at the pit, and that guy is Pete. Kyle, though, will still catch, and we should have maybe a brief fight for the lead. It does look like Kyle's got this one, though. Yellows. Maybe he doesn't. Frenagami's in Narnia. Could be a safety car, but he isn't hitting anything, is he? That's the problem. He should recover from that. Pete's got a penalty now, which doesn't really help his cause. A late safety car here, Jacko, would really spice this up with Kyle rapidly closing. I can see OKK get some fresh tyres on.
Absolutely. What would you do? Fresh tyres or track position?
Fresh tyres, every day of the week.
Yeah, always.
Track position here is non-existent, look at it. 6 seconds in 2 laps. And Pete, surely will get by, but he's got no ERS left. Ah, that might bugger him. And those two being so close, well, he still got him done actually. I went off board, I was so confident he wouldn't do it. We still saw it, but... Oh!
OKK let him do that. OKK lit half spin, puts Kyle on the back of him. This is for the lead of the race.
This is the lead. And OKK was not in any mood to let that be a fight either. I think he was maybe accepting his fate. I think he's... At least Kyle was going about a second a lot quicker than J-Luke anyway, so I reckon OKK might still be alright. This would be pretty good for his playoff charge, this. He'll be getting a lot of points for this if he's going to get second place, because obviously we do give the playoff points now for second and third.
Yep. Of course, OKK with a massive 15 points if he finishes P2 there. Put him on 47, which puts him well inside, about 7th or 8th in the standings, depending on what Pete and Connor do. Well, Connor's already out, saying that. So his main rival at the moment is Pete. Yeah, it's a pit.
Kyle then with the fastest lap. Pete can't even have that. Really is just on another level, isn't he?
Absolutely.
But this is a good thing about this series, because it will all come down to your final race. I mean, you can have all the points you want in the first 15 races, but in the finale, it could all go wrong for you, so this is why you can never really stop watching. As dominant as it looks, all it literally takes is for one race, and if it just happens to be the finale, it can go wrong. So he might be looking all good now, but I hope he doesn't get too confident, because if it ever does go wrong, he might not really know how to deal with it. He's driving so well right now.
Oh, you've only got to look back to last season, Khalifa, with all those incredible stats, but he lost the title by 3/10 of a second in the end. That's all it was, one little bit of wing damage at the start of the race, and Pete took advantage of that. Come down to half a second.
Yeah, Kyle
Not even that,
absolutely.
sorry.
Kyle's absolutely all over Pete.
Yellow
Yellows,
flags.
a spin for indecisive again. Did he hit anything? I don't know. We aren't checking because we're still watching this fight for the lead. We can have a quick look now. He didn't hit anything. But I have a feeling that Kyle will be getting by sooner or later. They both have no real ERS uses, so that could be what sort of holds this fight for a bit. J-Luke and I closing pretty quickly on Okeke for third, or, well, net second by the looks of it. It's been about 2 seconds since the overtake. So maybe it will be second, but we'll see. I'm sort of saying that, just sort of assuming that they won't run out of time to catch and pass. We have only got 7 to go. It is starting to get a little bit tight for time, especially if we get any safety cars or anything. But Kyle, well, he's holding back a little bit, I wonder, just for this, because he'll have the DRS, and he will get past now into the lead. Or will he? Oh, the hit! No damage though. Luckily, Kyle gets away with it. Go on, Pete, stay a few more laps. Come on, we like this entertainment. Keep it a few more laps, because Kyle is running right out of ARS. He's feeling a bit pressure. Does he know that Pete has not made his second stop? Has he made his second stop, just to make sure 100%? No, he hasn't.
Okay, he has not. No.
Just got to fully confirm now, just in case we've been talking out of our arse the whole time. But no, he definitely hasn't made the stop. And Kyle is feeling the consequences of that at the moment. Oh, you're so boring.
Oh, boring, Pete.
Right, well that means we can watch Cam now, because he's right on the back of Risky, and he fancies P5 right now, if that's what this is potentially going to become for him. Another top 5 for him, but again, as you were saying, never finishing 4th.
Never finished higher than 4th.
Or never finished higher than 4th. That's what he said. Okay, I'm wrong, sorry. Either way, he's going 5th, if he can get this one done. And he's not a million miles away from that 4th position, actually. But he's not going to get 5th at the moment. He was edged out a little bit by Risky. But certainly Arnold right up there as well. Could be a good fight at the end of this race.
Finally having a good race is Speed Risky.
Yeah,
good to see.
It's a good race, but it's not as good as it could have been, unfortunately, for him. I mean, you can see where Okeke is right now. He'll be falling down to third in a moment, sure, but he should hold on to that. I don't see him falling any further than that, I'd hope. But here comes Cam
again. Yeah.
No ERS left though, but he's still got the DRS, which Carl crucially, or Risky crucially doesn't have. But he'll still try and fight it. He's got the outside line, which is the overtaking line, because he can then have the inside of the next corner, and there's a bit of contact. But Cam is through. He's got his man, as has Pete. We're watching him again. He's in P9, chasing after Spencer. Spencer could be the last man he overtakes today, because it's then an 8.5 second gap ahead afterwards. But here he goes. Very nice run indeed. Purple middle sector. And should be passing the man on the hard with relative ease, and he has done so.
To be fair to Pete, it's been a good strategy. I didn't think I'd be saying that when he was still yet to pit after 15 laps. But to recover a P8 out of it, that's a good strategy.
Okay, let's J-Luke through there effectively. It was no fight there. He's just keeping it clean now. He's got the 5 to go. He wants to make sure he's got some good playoff points when he gets to the flag. That's the best way of doing it, I guess. Better safe than sorry with this type of thing.
Owen, do you want to start?
Yes.
Okay, coming into this race, Kyle was 6 playoff points away from 40 playoff points, so that means he's got 34, yeah?
Yes.
To advance from round 1 of the playoffs, you need 40 points. So if he gets the win and the fastest lap today, he's already advanced to round 2 of the playoffs. Keep that in mind.
What a show off. Anyway, while you were saying that, Risky's passed Cam again. So maybe the soft tires are starting to go off. Cam, as you might be able to notice, is still right up Risky's gearbox though, and he still fancies going straight back past him. Difficult one though. Risky confident on the outside line, and he's held on. Can Cam try and switch it back maybe on the inside, or is the tyres just starting to go? He's got the traction. Maybe he was just trying to save ERS something, because now it's Risky the one who's next to none left, while Cam has maybe got enough for them to start straight at once. What these two are doing now is they're letting Jordan get right on. Remember Jordan who started last? Could be looking at a P5 right now.
He's there, isn't he?
He's very much in this with 4 to go. Arnold doesn't look to be catching KK too much, so that podium should be there for him as Pete sets the fastest lap of the race again. If these three squabble, maybe Pete could be right there on the final lap at the very end. If he can keep setting fast laps. But we'll see. Time for another overtaking attempt, potentially from Cam. He's on the overtake. Risky is not. He probably hasn't got much to use. Jordan as well on the overtake, but he's got next to nothing. But here comes Cam. Has he got enough to get through? Will it be an easier overtake? Yes, he should be through well this time. Unless Risky, of course, rips it around the outside as he's done before, and he's done again. Cam gets left on the curb, but this time had good traction and kept the position.
Great driving between
But Risky's going for it again. Inside into the same corner. That's a very tight line that Cam's given him, and Risky's had to back off. Here comes Jordan. He might go straight past, but backs off. Maybe going to try again on the inside, but I wonder if he was just a bit too cautious there. Risky could have been overtaken by Jordan. Maybe should have been.
All three of these drivers have a 3-second penalty to be added on at the end of the race. Risky goes wide there.
I believe Pete has one as well, doesn't he?
Pete has 6 seconds.
Ah, that might bugger him. Will bugger him.
And OKK has 3, but of course still has that gap to Arnold. Just.
3 to go. Cam might pull in a bit more clear because he, like I said, had that ERS advantage. He still has a little tiny, little tinsy bit of an ERS advantage, and now it's Jordan maybe in a strong position to make an overtake in this train. Saying that, Risky's catching Cam again, so they can't make their mind up here, can they, these guys? Who wants to win this fight? It's changing every corner.
The man who needs the points is that man there in 6th. 3 points coming into tonight. 29 points off the cut line. Solid, what would it be, 11 points for finishing there. You could do with that.
He might well more than that though, he might well be able to get it too. Because
Right.
like I say, Cam's tyres are in the prime position to go off. What percentage are they on, Jacko?
Cam's tyres, let me tell you, they're front left is it?
Oh dear.
Arnold's tyres are all low 30%. Michael OKK's tyres up in 3rd. Front left 67% with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, some of these tyres could be under risk on the final lap. That is concerning. It has to be said. We'll see how it all pans out. But it could be a tense finish that because, like I said, the tyres, they really do. When they hit the 70%, they are in the red zone. And at any point in that red zone, they can go. They can go right at 70, or they can go right at 99. It just depends, but most of the time it tends to be in the 70s. You'd be very lucky to get above that, especially on that front left. Front left is, oof, it loves a good blow up. And like I say, oh, Risky's got another penalty. That might cost him.
Yep, so that puts Jordan up into 6th. Are these guys starting to catch Arnold, or is Arnold just about running away?
Arnold is pulling away from them. I think it was Cam was looking at getting that P4 a while ago, but it's now 3 seconds rather than 3. I think it was about 7 tenths, something like that. Now Risky's got still no real ERS, but he's using all he's got. We know he loves that outside line. Will Cam defend it? No, instead Risky's going to go on the inside. That's contact. Round he goes. Jordan avoids.
Oh, Jordan! I don't know how he got through that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good driving. I can sort of see that coming, Risky on the inside. It never seems to work. This is why I keep saying outside line for overtaking, because you go on the inside, that gap will close, and there's no way out of an accident at that point. At least on the outside, if it goes wrong, you go wide and you don't hit anyone. And unfortunately, Risky's learnt that the hard way. Yellows. That'll be for indecisive.
Yep. The only car a lap down currently.
Really struggling for grip, isn't he? And he's got, well, that by Clyde, isn't it, on him now? I mean, well, who is it? It's Baza. It's not even Clyde, it's Baza. Mr. John is closing up to lap him soon as well, potentially. Really just a bit of a learning day for indecisive, I guess, at the moment. Has had a bit of a nightmarish day, hasn't he, in the end? With the brake check, he might get in a lot of trouble for that. And then being the lap down, he's had a lot of spins. But we are now on the final lap of the race. Whose tyres are going to get to the end and who's are going to go by? we're sort of thinking, okay, he's under pressure. What percentage is he on?
Going back to OKK, he is at 73 on that front left.
Indecisive
And
is now
that's
retired.
Yeah.
I think he's actually binned it on the pit entry. I don't think he's even... Is that even the pit entry or is it the lost side of the final corner? Looking at the pit entry, but I don't think it is. Now, the gap, he's got a penalty and R9 doesn't, right?
OKK, yeah, 3 seconds.
Yeah, so OKK's out of the podium and on risky looking tyres, but they seem to be holding on for now. But it is going to be Kyle from J-Luke. I don't think they could have really predicted that one coming into the race after qualifying, but hey ho, it's happened again. And luckily, unlike Britain Short, J-Luke hasn't been smashed off, but it is again a familiar sight as Kyle books his place in round 2 of the playoffs, we think now. Ridiculous. Yeah. And J-Luke,
providing he's picked up fastest lap.
J-Luke finishes second. And OKK does get to the line in P3, but with a penalty, he will fall to P4. In fact, he had 2 penalties, so it was even worse. Cam gets across the line. Jordan was very close to him in P6. Pete now 7th. Risky cruises across in P8 and gets bitten by a Splinter. Will Clyde beat him? Not quite, he's in 10th. Yuri misses out on point, on the top 10. Camu Mabu beats him. They should say 12, and no one's tires appear to be going, which is good. Cut to Gamu probably in a second, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Bassa finishes in 13th. Mr. John will come up to the line, and he will be 14th eventually. And he's binned it for good measure. Danscar, round the last corner, got a penalty. I don't think he really cares. He's just getting to the line now.
2 points for Danscar for P15. Renegamo in that lovely looking car.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Hopefully it blows up. Right. I think he's going to get away with it. Well, he would, wouldn't he? Cam did 10 laps on that tyre.
Going for donuts? These are for you, Owen.
He's going to hit the wall when he does this. Look. What's he doing? Yep. Nice. Lovely. You see, he's being quite kind to me there. He's getting rid of that horrendous livery. He's ripping it off his car. It's a shame he didn't get a puncture when he was doing that. That piece of front wing could have been very dangerous for his tyres. Right, now what is he up to?
The best donuts we've seen today.
Well, I mean, Indecisive did a few nice ones. Unintentional, but they were nice. Better than those. At least he didn't hit anything.
Very true.
Right, well hopefully it shows me the order this time, just so we can finally confirm it. Would be nice. Because obviously in qualifying I just said, you know what, we aren't going to show you the results because we don't like you. Stop winning, Kyle. Give someone else a go. He could be on for setting some real records here. This could be points records. I mean, it's only season 2, I know, but these could stand for a lot of seasons to come. I mean, how many wins in a row is it now? Is it 3 in a row or is it 4 in a row? Or is it 5 in a row?
Let's see, that is
6?
His 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, but his 5th this season.
Right then. So, finishing in order then. Kyle again from J-League. Arnold, OKK, Cam, Jordan, Pete with the fastest lap and a playoff point as a result. Spencer, Risky, Clyde, Camu, Babu, Yuri, Bazin, Mr. John, Danscar, Finnegan, Indecisive, Dexter, MK Bourne, and Connor. And congratulations to Kyle, you're through to round 2 already, so you don't even have to turn. You literally don't have to turn it to like the last 3 races.
I need to correct you. He's 1 playoff point away now. He didn't get fastest lap. That went to Pete. But 1 more playoff point. We'll see him into the 2nd round, unbelievably, of the playoffs already.
Yes,
it's only round 7.
Effectively, he still doesn't need to turn up until the last 3 rounds. But anyway, that is it then. That has been JACKOCAR. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Where are we next week again?
It's throwback
Monza.
week. We're off to Monza,
isn't it? Yeah, throwback week at Monza. Do join us then. I'll be looking forward to it. Hopefully we get a race similar to last season at Monza. It was wet, it was wild, it was crazy. We had Belgians killing each other. Don't miss it again next week. Safe travel, everybody. Stay safe, wear your masks, etc.